Welcome to the Rue Papers.
Say it again, for the recording.
B!
Again.
Fine. I know what you've recorded sounds weird and creepy, and I know your mind is running on ghosts and so on. I know you expect me to believe, but I've done my research, B. I know how to examine evidence. I don't just take it blindly, and I don't believe what you've recorded. It's a ghost.
Why not?
Because it sounds like you, B. I mean, the intonation is different, the sound is unsettling. But you've got a very distinct voice, B. You've got the way you say things, it's a unique voice. Even the way you put a filter on and change the levels, it sounds like you. I'm sorry.
That's not my voice, Robin. I'm not trying to fake anything.
Probably not. But any paranormal researcher worth their salt would say the same thing. Why are you recording this anyway? Why are you recording anything beyond the reports?
I want to make sure it's all recorded. Not just the report. So it's not just my word. So future researchers aren't just relying on my memories. So I can be sure I'm saying what I think I'm saying is what I really said. I keep having dreams. Something's coming through. I see hands pushing on my bedroom wall. I feel them grabbing my bedsheets and pressing down on me. They want to take me. They want to come through. And whatever is holding them back is getting thinner and thinner. And I think there's a tear, a tiny one, but it's enough.
Maybe you shouldn't be doing this work.
Nonsense, Robin. She's the best person for it.
How long have you been listening?
Long enough to hear Robin dismiss your concerns and imply it's all in your head. Not what I expected from you, Robin. I expect you to support your colleague, especially when you call them friends.
That's not what I'm doing.
I think it's time for your shift at the front desk, isn't it?
Yes. I'm sorry, B.
It's fine, Robin. Things should be questioned.
What were you talking about?
It's just odd. Down there in the basement, there's noises and atmosphere, and the stories are unsettling.
And you're having bad dreams?
And I'm having bad dreams.
Well, that is concerning, and I can see you're tired. I think at this point I'm supposed to ask you to stop. But unfortunately, I know you wouldn't. You have a very strong sense of duty, Beatrice, and I admire that, even though I don't think it's very good for you.
Duty?
Duty? I know, it's an old-fashioned concept. It was something very strong in my family. One must always do their duty, we were told, no matter what the cost to us. Like we were royalty, instead of a middle-class family visiting a relative that they didn't much like, or doing our daily chores, or all the other things that can make life so difficult at times. I thought it was silly when I was a child. I hated the word duty, but now I can see that duty is important. It matters. We have to know that people can be relied upon to do something, whether it's unpleasant or uncomfortable or even dangerous for them. And we have to know that the people around us will do their duty too. Duty must be done so others can live, you see.
I'm recording a few old stories, not defending the channel against all invaders.
Yes. Sorry, I get a bit carried away, but it's the same concept. What we must do, we must do. I'm sorry it's difficult for you. Perhaps we can arrange a few sessions for you on the customer service desk, up here in the sunlight.
Well, you know how I feel about customer services. I'll take the ghosts, thanks.
I thought so. Look, I have a report for you today. It's a story I found in the attics. I thought it would belong with the Rue Papers. You can take that downstairs and record it.
What is it?
It's a story about this place, when it was opened. A ghost story in the whole house, not just the basement.
I always suspected something had happened in the attic.
And now your curiosity will be assuaged, assuming you find what you want in the story. I haven't really read it. And B, it's a good idea to keep recording everything, not just the stories. As librarians and researchers, we know it's a good idea to keep a record of as much as possible, even our private conversations.
I didn't realise it was still on.
I've listened back to the recording of the ghost and then my voice. First of all, do I sound like that? And second, I can see what Robin meant. It does sound like me. But also, not me? Like someone with my voice, but a completely different person? I'm sure I didn't do it, but my family history. I can't be sure. I can't ever be sure. Anyway, back to the report Rose gave me. Dear Sam, you asked me to write to you about the troubles on the Ellington site. Put it all in writing for future problems, you said. Fine. Here it is. No one will believe you. As you know, we're converting the old house into a library, Thomas Ellington's dying wish. And doesn't he look it? He's here every day, looking ancient, leaning on a stick, but those eyes of his are sharp. He insists on going over the work we've done at the end every day, and he soon spots if we've made the slightest alteration. 2 things. He had us do the basics of the attic, and then got someone else in to do the decorating in there, so whatever you find up there, it's nothing to do with us. And the basement. He's had it sealed and concreted up, and all sorts of panelling and brickwork put in round all the walls. I told him if anyone ever needs to redo the electrics or get at the gas pipe, they won't be able to. There's not even a fire exit, and I know that's against regs for a library, but he's paid someone off. It's a death trap, that basement. You're going to die here, But every project run by those rich bastards has its quirks, doesn't it? Nah, that's not the weird stuff. Look, don't dismiss this, will you? The lads are worried, and we need the lads to do their job. It's not just the money, you know. A few have already walked off. Told me peace of mind is more important than double pay. Okay, to start off with. Tools started going missing. I mean, at night, so maybe they were nicked. So we locked them up in one of the rooms. Big tool chest, heavily padlocked, chained to a pipe, and then took them out again in the morning when we needed them. I mean, Ellington doesn't live here anymore. And it's funny that the one thing you refuse to pay for is a night watchman. Anyway, the tools, like I said, we got them out each morning. But then they went missing again. And I don't mean nicked at night. I mean someone will put a hammer down and turn around, and when they turned back, it was gone. People started accusing each other. I mean, you get pranks on a site, but everyone was tense to begin with. There was something about it. Just the dying man standing there, hour after hour, watching us, watching every move. We never found the missing tools. I had to pay a fortune to get them replaced. I keep a stock of spares in my van now. Okay, and then things fell. From nowhere. Things just fell from the air and crashed onto the floor beside us. Okay, I say fell, but they were thrown. And I don't mean pens and clipboards. I mean whole bricks. I've got a photo. I happened to have a camera to record the works and took a picture just at the right time. I've attached it. You can see a brick in mid-air. I know someone will say it was thrown by someone off camera, but no one was nearby, and the lads know better than to throw bricks around. Some of them wanted to leave. Those of us still left. But he come round and hand fivers to everyone, and we're not rich. We wanted the money. Plus, it began to feel like a battle, you know? And we wanted to win. The lads would sit in the pub at lunchtime and talk about what happened to them. But half of us had been through worse in the war, and if that didn't beat us, we were damn sure a few flying bricks wouldn't do it. But we were behind, what with tools going missing, and bits of wall we sure were secure collapsing, so we had to work through some nights. The nights were the worst. I objected. Said the neighbours wouldn't like the noise, but Mr. Ellington, he said they wouldn't hear. And you know, it's odd, but they never did complain. Once I had to go off-site for something, and when I came back, I couldn't hear a thing until I walked back through the front door. I thought they'd all gone home. But I walked in, and there they were, hammering away, shouting at each other. Right load of noisy bastards they are. But step outside that door, you didn't hear a thing. Right, it's that last night. The night we all left, we need to talk about. Nothing was left but a few touch-ups. Mr. Ellington was there, leaning on his stick, and he looked like a walking skeleton. He went up to the attic and walked around for hours. He must have been playing records or something up there, because we could all hear faint noises coming through the vents. I went down to the basement to do a final check and make sure the electrics were switched on. It was all dusty down there, we hadn't got to clean it up yet. I put all the lights on and walked to the other side, right to the back. It was brightly lit, and I swear it was empty. I could see my own footprints in the dust behind me as I walked to the floor. I got to the back, paused a second to check the work, turned around, and then the entire floor was covered in footprints. All around me. Some on top of my own. No sound. No air stirring. Just footprints. All around me. And nothing to make them. I ran. When I got upstairs, I was about to tell the others, when there was a banging at the door. There was a woman there, dripping wet. She told us she was Jacqueline Bartlett, head of Rue, and she needed to see Thomas Ellington right away. It was urgent. He appeared and called her Jack and smiled, and I hope no one ever smiles at me like that. She charged in, dripping water all over the place, and demanded he stop, that what he was doing was wrong and it would backfire badly on him. He didn't say a word. He just smiled. Then every door in the building burst open and slammed shut again. There was knocking in the walls, and it was so hard I could actually see cracks in the plaster. And screaming. I couldn't make out the words, but so many voices were calling. The noise was horrific. We all rushed for the door, but it was stuck. We pulled hard at it, but we couldn't get it to shift. And all the time, that banging, bang, 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 all the way through the house. I don't know what made it. I don't know what could make it. But it scared us. I mean, we were men who'd been through the war. We'd had bombs dropped on us. We'd been in plane crashes. But that banging terrified us like nothing ever had. There was ice in my spine. That's what it felt like. Ice in my spine. And the two of them just ignored it all. Him just smiling, and she with fists clenched, dripping on the carpet. I think that's what terrified me the most. They just didn't care. The most terrifying moment of my life, and they just didn't care. Then it all went silent. I just heard one word. I heard someone say, Beatrice. And then the door opened, and we all left. It was bone dry outside, and silent too. I turned to look through the open door back into the house. The woman, Jacqueline Bartlett, she was gone, and Thomas Ellington had collapsed. I went back in for him, and the place felt different. That ominous feeling had gone. It was just an empty building. And Ellington was dead. I checked for a pulse, but nothing there, and his skin was cold like ice. His face was all waxy and white. If I didn't know better, I'd swear he'd been dead for hours. I've seen pictures of Jacqueline Bartlett in the newspapers, the ones reporting the crash. It was definitely her. No, I can't explain how she could be there when a car crashed into a river and she had drowned 3 days earlier. No, I don't know who Beatrice is. I'd recommend not opening this place as a library, but no one ever listens to the builders. Fuck. Oh, fuck. I'm right. I don't know what to say about that. That there's a note from Rose at the end in pencil. She's written, I know you may feel that this work is difficult for you, even dangerous, given your family history. I think, however, that is good for you. I have known you for many years, or rather, I have worked beside you. I don't think I've ever known you. You've always seemed to be a rather restless, hopeless person. There were days when you barely spoke. And yet lately, you seem engaged, excited even. I truly believe that recording the Rue papers and all that might come out of that is your purpose in life. My purpose in life. My purpose in life. Oh. Oh. Thank you for listening to the Rue Papers. Created, written and performed by Emma Butler. And a special thank you to my new Patreon member, Elfie. I appreciate the support. In this episode, the voice of Robin was Michael Dixon and the voice of Rose was Nat Doig. And please check out Nat's fantastic paranormal and historical podcast, Weird in Wade. For bonus materials, please visit my Patreon. And don't forget, listeners, some stories should never be read.